Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to be talking about my top 5 plus 1 honorable mention strongest, longest lasting Amouage fragrances. As you'll know, if you've been around on the channel for a little bit of time now, you'll know that Amouage is my favourite fragrance brand by far, which is probably a little bit of a problem. But because I've got quite a lot of them, I've had a lot of experience, I've worn them quite a lot, and this 5 on the list are the strongest ones that I've found that last the longest amount of time, that project the biggest amount in whenever I go into like a room setting and stuff like that. And typically they're not very light. They're a lot heavier, they're a lot darker in terms of scent profile, and as we get down this list, you'll see that they become darker, they become more resinous, they kind of are a little bit more kind of heavy than a few of the other ones on the list. So yeah guys, before we kick off the list, if you are new to the channel, if you're a fan of fragrances, please don't forget to drop a like, and please feel free to subscribe as well. We'd be more than happy to have you on the channel. We talk about fragrances way too much, so if that sounds like a community that you want to be part of, then please feel free to subscribe. Okay, so yeah, strongest Amouage fragrances. We're going to kick things off with honorable mention. I really wanted to chuck this into the top 5, but it got slightly beat out. We're in the summer, so these are both summer Amouage fragrances, and I've been wearing them back and forth between like which one lasts longer, which one's a little bit lighter, which one's a little bit more kind of close to the skin. And it was really, really close. They're almost similar in terms of projection and longevity. It's just the scent profile of the number 5 one is just a bit heavier and it projects a bit longer. It's a little bit stronger. But honorable mention, really good, really strong, really long lasting. It's this one here. You wouldn't really think of it as being strong and long lasting because of the DNA of it. Beach Hut Man. This is a little bit more like a green, woody and minty fragrance. Like I always say, it's as if you were to, not so much as the name suggests, it's not so much a beach hut, it's more if you were to go in, if you were to walk from the beach into the jungle, and then there's this kind of like overgrown hut, and it's got ivy all around it. It's this sticky, minty ivy kind of smell. It has got this kind of mossy, like almost bitterness to it from the mint, and it's really good. It does last a very long time. I get about 8 to 10 hours of longevity. It probably projects really strong, out of the gate. This is probably one of the furthest projecting ones. I get about 3 hours of just power. Like you can smell it all around. You can smell it around a room. In the heat as well, this thing goes crazy, which is great because it's a summer fragrance. And I wore this to Tenerife last year, and I sprayed it. You know, five sprays, one behind each ear, one behind the neck, one in the front. And my friend, we were going out of the hotel, and he's like about 5-10 meters behind me, and he's like, bro, what fragrance have you got on? Because that is nuclear. It's a nuclear fragrance, and it is. The projection of this thing for the first 3 hours is absolutely incredible. But the best thing about this is, despite it being a fresh fragrance, it lasts a long time too. So you can smell this 6, 7, 8 hours down the line, and it stays on clothes forever, which is great. So just misses out on the number 5 spot just because it is slightly more fresh. It's not as dark, it's not as heavy as some of the other ones. But coming in at number, let's say 6 spot, is Amouage Beach Hut Man. Such a good one, and I think this has now been discontinued. So it's coming off of decants. I'm not doing any decants for this anymore, I don't think, apart from 2 mil. Because I want to save this juice for myself. Most of this actually has been decanted thinking about it, but now it's for me. So yeah, number 6 spot. If you can get a bottle of this before it gets completely discontinued, Beach Hut Man. Okay, coming in at the number 5 spot. This one was the one that battled against Beach Hut and won, and it's this one here. It's another summer fragrance, but you can also get away with wearing this for the colder months as well. But I just feel like it's better for summer, and it's this one here. Love the colour of the bottle. Love this kind of newer bottle design that Amouage is going with. The kind of like, what's the word, pastel kind of colour, like solid colours for these, for the newer ones. And it's this one here. It's Amouage Search. So, yeah, if I can describe it in 3 words, you've got the citruses in here from the lemon, the lime. Incense, you definitely get like this kind of like smoky incense here. And, there is this kind of like, almost, I don't want to say dusty, but there's this kind of like dryness in here. So you've got the really fresh citruses, and then you've got the really smoky, dry kind of smokiness to it. So This, I always say, it smells like when you kind of, if you were to put some citruses, like, you know, some oranges, some lemons, some lime, put it on top of a frying pan and put it over a fire, and then you get the kind of smell. Like, that's probably what this smells like. It's really good. Like, it's got this really freshness, and then it's like goes into this really nice smokiness to it. It's quite a strange one, but for the first 4 hours of that, you get the really nice citruses, and it really projects from the citruses. But then you've also got this this smokiness, which kind of carries it for the rest of the time. So I get about 10 hours easily for this fragrance. It lasts so long. It's I think there might be like cade oil in there. There's something in this. Let me find out. There is this kind of like almost smoky oiliness to it as well. It's quite strange to describe. I'm not sure if that's just because like the citrus notes in here mixing with it, but there's something in here. There's something in here that gives it an extra strength, and I want to find out what exactly that is. Yeah, there is cade oil in this. That's what I pick up in this. There is another one on this list that has cade oil, but it makes this fragrance last for about 10 hours and even into the next day sometimes. But because this is a little bit more airy in terms of the projection, it's got a really nice scent trail to this one. It's not as dense, it's not as heavy as some of the other ones, but it's a good start for that. And I get quite a lot of people saying like 5-6 hours down the line, they can still smell it. So coming in at last place at the number 5 spot is Amouage Search. Yeah, I really like that citrus open note. It's really good. Okay, coming in at the number 4 spot, we're really stepping up here. We go into the darker, the denser Amouage fragrances, the kind of signature DNA of Amouage. And if you could kind of strip everything back, and if I was to just think of what Amouage is in my head, this one coming in at the number 4 spot is something that always comes to mind. This is like almost stripping back all the DNA. This is the kind of typical Amouage. And it's this one here, a great starter Amouage. Appreciate the bottle design because it's absolutely awesome. It's one of my favourite bottle designs. Just love the red and the gold. And it's Amouage Journeyman. Now, this thing was, I think, my first or second Amouage fragrance. And man, this thing is strong. So it's got this smokiness, a little bit similar to Search. It's got like a smokiness to it, but it's more done in like a tobacco. So this is one of my favourite tobacco fragrances. It's very spicy. It's got a Sichuan pepper in it that gives it this kind of imagine like a little bit like the bottle design actually, like this kind of sparkly red flaky kind of red flaky, you know, this peppery kind of like spice note to it, which is quite cool. But it has also got this kind of warming tobacco in there, which kind of makes it like kind of smoothed out. But like I said, with Search, you've also got cade oil in here too. And because of that, this thing, it's very serious. Like, it's a very serious fragrance. Like what the name suggests, journey. You're kind of on a journey. You know, you're not messing around with the journey. You know where you want to get to. If you want to kind of resonate with that, that's what this fragrance is all about. It's very serious. You know, it's not a playful fragrance at all. This is something that you wear when you go into close like £1 million deal. You go into a boardroom. That's what you wear. You wear this thing when you've got an important meeting or kind of TED talk to do. You know, you're a businessman, you're serious. And the projection of this thing, the longevity, it just stays forever and forever and forever. This carries for so long. Search, if that's like a 10-hour fragrance, this goes up to being like 12. And with this kind of fieriness to it, this kind of like shoutiness, this kind of sophistication, it fills a room, you know, it fills the entire boardroom, and people know that you're the guy, you know, you're the boss of the whole operation when you wear something like this. Super nice one. I really enjoy it, but because it's so serious, sometimes I don't wear it as much as I should. But there's something really, really addicting to this. It's like nothing I've tried. So coming in at the number 4 spot is Amouage Journeyman. Coming in at the number 3 spot, surprisingly, this isn't a number 1. For other people, they always say that this is one of the strongest ones for Amouage, and it definitely is. But surprisingly, I've got 2 more on the list that actually outlast it. They outperform it. I'm not sure if it's just because I've got a flanker, but coming in at the number 3 spot, guys, I think they've toned it down a little bit, which is quite good because the original is very, very strong. If I had the original, I actually don't have it just because it is just too strong and I can't wear it. But coming in at the number 3 spot does a perfect job of fixing the kind of harshness and the kind of like sweaty note that the normal version has. Amouage Interlude Black Iris. So this is, like I said, a slight step down from Interlude, the one with the gold cap. But yeah, wow, this is dark, it's mysterious, it's kind of like being like a dimly lit kind of Dracula's mansion, this sort of thing, with like candles all around it. Like we said, it's the flanker of the most well-known and probably one of the strongest fragrances out there from Amouage and in the fragrance community, which is Interlude. But like I said, this is slightly more refined, it's slightly more elegant, and it has this addition of iris as well. So it takes the original DNA, the harshness and the strongness of the original Interlude DNA, and it tones it down a little bit with this incense, like we said, with this iris note. It still has that DNA, it's still got the smoky, almost kind of sweaty DNA, but it just smooths it out a bit, and it just makes it a little bit less chaotic. But the performance and the longevity of this thing, like I decant this quite a lot. You can't really see the bottle and the liquid amount, but every time I decant this and I take out the syringe and I put the syringe like on the other side of the room, sometimes whenever I walk back into my room a little bit later, I can still smell it, and I haven't even like done any sprays of it. I've just taken it out, and like the residue from the syringe, it's still there. So yeah, this thing is pretty good in terms of longevity. I get about 14 hours probably. I mean, I'm not awake sometimes for that long, but there's definitely been times where I'll spray this, I can still smell it the next day. Like if I were to spray this on my hand, before, when I was in work, I would wake up at 6 o'clock, spray this on my hand, you know, normal spray routine, and I was still getting compliments from people saying they could smell me like 20 meters away in work at like 3 o'clock. So it still projects, it still fills a room. It's something very serious, but I prefer this a little bit more than the original Interlude. It's just a little bit more approachable. Because if I had that fragrance, it would be at number 1. But this slightly tones it down. Makes it a little bit more wearable, to be honest. Number 3 spot is Interlude Black Iris. This is my first ever Amouage fragrance too. Okay guys, coming in at the number 2 spot. This one, when I think of the strongest Amouage fragrance, this is always coming to mind. I literally just decanted this now and it's just filled my entire room. It's so classy, so boozy, it's so refined and elegant. It's something that you want to wear on like a night out when you're dressed up, when you go into like a whiskey bar or you know, you go into like a theatre, you know, probably giving it away a little bit because I've talked about that before on the channel. Number 2 spot, this one's actually a little bit too mature for me, I gotta be honest. I kind of struggle wearing this just because it's very refined, like I said, and it's very upscale, very classy. It's this one here. Amazing bottle design, the frosted glass, and I love the juice colour of this thing. It's Amouage Overture, man. And this was Christopher Chong's final one for Amouage, the name Overture 2, which is great. Kind of like the closing curtain of his kind of reign over Amouage. And what a way to go out, because this thing, man, it's boozy, it's resinous, it's got this really nice grapefruit note in here. So it's got this, this a little bit of like, imagine if you was like just spill a bunch of cognac and cumin and stuff all over this this grapefruit, and you're in like this whiskey lounge and you just kind of let it sit. And that's kind of what this is. It's very hard to match in terms of like sophistication, but man, this thing is crazy. Very thick. It's got very thick sillage. I've sprayed this before on a night out, and then I've left it for the night. I've had a shower, and I've woke up the next morning and like bed sheets still stink of this thing. Honestly, I actually go a little bit less on the sprays because 5 sprays of this could probably fill an entire theatre. Not that bad, but very close. Because this thing, if you overspray it, man, everyone in the street is going to smell you with this thing. It's probably going to spill into people's windows and stuff like that because the performance and the projection of this thing is crazy, but more so the longevity, because you've got this cumin note in here that just makes it stick. It's got myrrh. I think it's got myrrh in here too, so it's very resinousy, it's very boozy, but it has got this really nice grapefruit note. It's like a fleshy grapefruit, and there is also an aromatic note, so it has this kind of almost barnyard kind of smell. It's a very hit or miss, this fragrance, so I would always recommend decanting it and trying it before you go out and buy a full bottle. I see this come up a lot in the Facebook groups just because people, they don't get on with it. Maybe because it's too strong, maybe because of just the DNA of it. But it's so complex, there's so much stuff going on into this that it just takes forever for it to just go into different stages. And the final stage of it is kind of like on the later end. I think if you wore this all day and you smelled yourself on your hand, you would still smell it like 16 hours later. So yeah, had to be the number 2. It just misses out on the number 1, and it's Amouage Overture Man. Right, and guys, just before we get on the number 1 spot, this one battled quite hard to get there, but it had to be on there. It's the strongest fragrance I think I have. I've let it macerate or mature, and it's just taken over every single fragrance I have. It's the strongest one by far. Out of all 84 of my fragrances, it's the strongest. So but just before we talk about that, guys, remember, if you are enjoying this video, if you are new and you haven't subscribed already, first of all, please don't forget to drop a like. And yeah, like we said, please don't forget to subscribe as well. Also, don't forget to comment down below what your top 3 strongest Amouage fragrances are, or if you've tried Amouage, what your experience was with it and how strong it was, because they're all pretty strong, to be honest. So coming at the number 1 spot, guys, been loving this one more and more and more. It's when people talk about Amouage, this one always does come up in conversation, and mainly just because it just smells so good, and it really is something special. I think it's really overshadowed by other Amouage fragrances like Reflection, like Interlude, but this thing should be in the picture. It has to be. If there was like a podium where Reflection is number 1, Interlude's like number 2, and then this one should be the 3rd one. This or Journey should be the 3rd one. And the one that we're talking about, man, this thing's good, is Epic Man. And you can see I've got a newer one here. I dread to think how strong the ones that have got the side or the ones that have got Epic written just on the collar there. The further back you go, the stronger it's probably going to be. This one's a newer one, but still, it is crazy performance, crazy projection. And it smells so good. Funny story with this one, actually. When I first got it, I couldn't smell it. Like, I could literally go like this and I wouldn't smell anything at all. Now, I'm not sure if it's just because my nose has gotten used to this fragrance, or I've just let it, sprayed it, set it aside for a bit, and coming back to it, this thing is crazy in terms of performance and projection. A couple months ago, whenever I was filming my ranking every single one of my fragrances, I set them all aside, put all 84 of them together, and whilst I was putting them down, I was like, I can smell a fragrance here. I don't know what it is. And I was going through, I'm like, what one is it I'm smelling? I was going through each one. I knew it was definitely going to be an Amouage, and it was this. Out of 84 fragrances, all sat there, I could smell this just from the cap and just from the bottle itself. And if I can talk about the fragrance, it's imagine you're going down like the Silk Road. That's what this is inspired by. You're going down the Silk Road, and you're in the middle of the desert in the nighttime, and you've got this like cart of spices on this kind of wooden wagon, and it's set to light because it's too close to the campfire, and it just explodes. And then you've got the kind of airy like night air in the desert with all the fiery, smoky, resinous smell. That's what this is. That's the best way I can describe it. It's got oud in here too. It's perfectly balanced. Like we said, it's very powerful. It's if you strip everything back, a little bit like Journey, if you kind of take away all the extra stuff that all the other Amouage fragrances have, these two are kind of like the sort of signature DNA that Amouage is. This kind of woody, spicy fragrance with this kind of smokiness. And that's what this is. So underrated, so classy. I get a lot of compliments for this thing. And yeah, the performance, the longevity combined, I'd probably say Overture Man could outperform it in terms of longevity. But in terms of projection and performance, this thing goes the extra distance. I'd probably say I get about 6 to 8 hours of actual projection with this thing. This thing projects almost the entire time, but yeah, it's monstrous. Like, I can smell this thing like 15, 16 hours down the line, similar to Overture Man, but I know it's going to project for that amount of time. Whereas Overture, as it's going through all the complex stages, slightly becomes a bit of a skin scent, whereas this thing it still projects. You can still smell it. There's kind of this, it's not ambroxan, but you know, like with Dior Sauvage, there's this one note in there that just stays and stays and stays. There's something a little bit like that in this, and I can't pick out what it is, unfortunately, but man, it's crazy how well this thing performs. So if you're looking for the strongest Amouage fragrance, I'm probably going to say this, or you have got the original Interlude, but I think this just works a bit better, in my opinion. Right, so guys, that is going to do it for this video. Remember, if you are new, please don't forget to drop a like. Please don't forget to subscribe if you made it this far. Let me know what you think about Amouage's performance in general as well, because they are known for being one of the strongest, which is great. I think if you spend all that money to get a fragrance of this caliber, of this niche, then it may as well perform. It may as well last, unlike some other ones out there where you have to keep spraying. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.